was in church one Sunday. I got stabbed in my neck. I landed on the floor, dying in my church on a Sunday morning. If I die, so be it.
Thank God you're alive.
I was in church one Sunday. I got stabbed in my neck. Someone came in there to kill somebody. He randomly wanted to kill someone. Stabbed me in my neck twice and my hand once. I landed on the floor, dying in my church on a Sunday morning. And I'm lying there and I'm thinking...
Bro, you're a living miracle.
That's the doctor said, the same thing. I'm a walking miracle. So I'm lying on the floor in my church and the people are trying to save my life. And I'm thinking, well, I'm grateful because I'm definitely going to heaven because I died in church, you know, silly things. But that's what I'm thinking also.
The person that stabbed you was a random person?
Yeah, they came to kill somebody else. No, I've never met him
You just was in the way?
I stopped him from stabbing the person he came to get.
And you took the blood?
I took the, yeah. Wow. So as it happened, I'm lying on the floor and I'm literally feeling myself fading away. And I'm saying to myself, I'm grateful for my life that I've had. I'm glad that God has given me a chance to have a life. And if I die, so be it. Let God's will be done. However, if I get out of this moment alive, I am going to make the most of my life. I'm going to live full-hearted for Christ. I'm going to do, I said all that. Fast forward to maybe 6 months, a year later, and that passion for that moment has started to fade because I forgot that I've been through that and God saved me. And again, we go back to our normal lives. And I think the call that you put out there, a lot of us will answer the call and be like, yes, I'm convicted. I want to change my life. I'm going to do it. But then we walk away and we kind of fade back into the mediocrity of normal everyday life and we begin living casually again. Yeah. What would you say to that person who's listening right now?
Such a good question, bro.
What would you say to that person who's had that call, that conviction and felt it on a Sunday morning in church and said, yes, I'm going to change my life, and then they go home and everything's the same at home, so they become back to normal? What would you say to that person?
That is so good, man. This is our last question.
Yeah.
Man, that is so powerful, man. First,
I had more, but we went time.
First, thank God you're alive.
Yeah, thank you.
You got two powerful stories.
Yeah.
I'm taking both of them.
Feel free. Feel free.
I'm going to make this very short. I would say to that person, go read Psalm 143. One of my favorite Psalms. I would say to that person, everybody drifts. It is normal human nature to drift because we all are prone to wonder, including me. But one of the beautiful things about the writer of Psalm 143, he testifies of when he was on fire. He testifies of his drift. He testifies of his desire to return. And in the end, there is a doxology unto God of, I'm coming back. I'm giving you the short version of it. And so I would say to the person, I would say to them, one, don't condemn yourself because everybody's prone to wonder. Then I would say to that person, in prayer, remind yourself of when you was the most on fire and what God has done. And ask God to restore that fire and to kindle that fire in you again. And because he's loving and caring, he will do it. And when you feel that fire return, walk in the newness of that fire. And every time you drift, bring yourself right back to that flame and set your fire on again. Paul said something very interesting to the church of Philippi. He said, there's one thing I forget. And he had to keep pressing on to the things that's in front. I think sometimes we have to learn to forget things, but then sometimes we have to learn to remember things. That's the beauty of the human mind. Some things we have to keep forgetting. The things that keep us bound, we got to keep forgetting. The things that we drift away from that we need, we got to keep going back to. That's the power of memory, and that's the power of forgetting. And when it comes to that fire, whenever we get away from it, we got to remember where we was. We got to go back to God and say, bring me back here again. Light me on fire again. Pour gasoline on my fire again. He will do it. Get around community. Get around people who's on fire. Get around people who's going in the right direction. He'll do it. He'll use people to do it. He may use a sermon to do it. He may use a moment to do it, but he'll do it. And then once it comes back, you just keep running in the direction he's running. But I would say give yourself grace. We're all prone to wonder, but we can't wander back to where we came from. Psalm 143.